Good morning, Friendship Village of Dublin. This is Stacy. We are located on the north end of the North Garden, and I wanted to do the morning show from here today because we've got such great gardeners, and for being not even summer yet, we've got such great garden beds, and I've got a special guest today, Bonnie Protz, and she's going to talk to me a little bit about the gardens. How are you doing, Bonnie?
Good.
Thanks for coming out, because I know today we've had sunny weather, and of course today we don't. It's
a little chilly in the garden.
Yeah, it feels like an Ohio day,
right?
Comparatively. But I'm very thankful for what rain we have gotten.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about the gardens?
They were started, the gardens, I've been here over 13 years, and the gardens when I came there were no flats or villas, and they were just in the field, and they were broken down and so forth. And so the administrator at that time said, I'll give you a certain amount of money, do something different, because it was dangerous. So that's how the raised beds came about 8 years ago. And the North Garden was started first. And then they became so popular that the South Garden beds were put in. So they've been here over 7 years.
Okay. Who's in charge of coordinating the gardens?
They would be the person who is in charge of the Village Garden Committee, which I've had a privilege of doing ever since. Anyway, so I've been doing it 7 years.
7 years?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
And the gardeners, I've never had a plot unfilled because they're so popular. And we have a committee, all started in the 1st of December. They sign up for the committees, and it's on a first come, first served basis.
Okay.
And so, but I usually don't have any empty beds.
Do the gardens ever, so it's kind of competitive to get a garden bed?
Yes, I usually try and it is, as I said, on a first come first served basis. But if you are in that category, you get the same plot that you had the year before. So there is some continuity of the plots.
Okay. What So I guess a lot right now, I'm seeing a lot of stuff from that you would see during the summertime. Do people plant year-round, or is it only during certain seasons?
No, the garden cleanup beds are usually finished by the end of October.
Okay.
And Andy, our liaison, provides us with large canvas bags. We use them to clean up. And then we encourage everybody to clean it up. Some leave perennials in the gardens.
Mm-hmm.
However, come March, when Andy refurbishes the soil, those are vulnerable to, sometimes they have to leave them because the residents want them left. But basically, we encourage annuals, but we don't mind perennials either. So.
Okay. So people don't often plant in the wintertime?
No.
No winter?
There are some who get out pretty early in late March, early April.
Okay.
The ones that for the cold season crops, but we don't have very many of those.
Awesome. Well, would you mind taking us on a brief tour of the gardens?
No, sure.
We're just going to walk around and kind of see some of the stuff. I guess it's going to test our knowledge whether we know what the different plants are.
You might want to see this. We had a mallard female nesting here, and she has just had 9 eggs, and from what I hear, they were under the rhubarb, which was very lush at the time. And from what I understand, they fledged and have moved on.
They have moved on, yeah.
It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, Mick told me that they went over to where the creek was and went down to the river.
Uh-huh.
Cool. All right.
We encourage flowers along with the perennials.
Okay.
Or the vegetables, I should say, because we need to encourage all the beneficials that we can because of our decline in the pollinators. And we also have a rule that's no pesticides or chemicals.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. And they really do well because the mixture that Andy has in the soil is pretty much all you need. Some people prefer to fertilize a little with a balanced fertilizer, but basically we don't use anything.
Okay. That was something I was curious about, because with a number of the flowers,
Right.
how many pollinators do we really get? Very many in the gardens?
We don't see very many. Sometimes it's a little early for some of them, but
Yeah.
sometimes we have good years. Sometimes we don't. So
Do you know what this is?
those are chives.
Yeah. Do you know what part of the chive you can eat?
You can beat both of them.
You can pretty much eat all
Yes,
of it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just like looking at all this stuff, and I'm just like, kind of wish my garden bed looked like this. So one of the things I noticed, I got a picture of this. I don't know if it's shown up on Facebook or not, but last Friday during the 5K, you came through the finish line with a handful of lettuce.
Yes. Well, I had to stop off at the gardens during the walk to do something, and Bill Parsley was here, and he said, "You want some lettuce?" He said, "I have an abundance." I said, "Of course." And it looked like I was carrying a bouquet when I finished.
That's
But
okay.
it
You
was
know,
delicious.
that really just kind of describes the village, you know.
Yeah, right.
So-
You never know.
Yeah. Well, okay. I've got a couple trivia questions, and I know you probably know the answer to this. But I think for some people who, maybe are interested in gardening, or they've never done it before, or they're wanting to start, what are some helpful things to do when you're starting your garden? So, I don't know. When you water, how much should you water?
Well, I can tell you what you don't do. Better than that. It's
Well,
best-
exactly.
It's best to water in the mornings.
Uh-huh.
In the night, you risk the development of fungi on the
Yep.
plants. Andy will tell you and preaches all the time that less water is better than too much water.
Mm-hmm.
You get into a lot of trouble. So watering really thoroughly once a week is generally all you need to do. And we love the rain. The rain seems
Yes.
to be better than the hoses. But basically that's, you don't just go and sprinkle a little bit and hope, because it doesn't go into the ground.
Yeah.
It's worse than too much water.
That's true. So off of that, what part of the plant should you water?
Oh, at the base. Yeah,
At the
absolutely
base.
At the base.
So as opposed to just watering the leaves, even though,
Right. Oh, yeah. That will cause more problems than anything. Yeah, at the base.
Awesome. So what are you growing right now in your garden?
Well, I used to have a plot, but basically I have pots of herbs on the south garden.
Oh, that's
side.
right.
And they have about 5 or 6 pots of herbs, and
Of
they're
herbs.
welcome to. The residents are welcome to harvest them if they want them, and they're all labeled. The Thackeray's have a pot of mint up there in the corner of the north gardens that
Okay.
they welcome anyone. That's the one thing
Oh, yeah, I
we
see
really
'em.
don't ask that residents plant in their plots is mint, because it
mint.
takes over.
Okay.
So, but they wanted mint, and so they bought the pot and put it in. So,
That's awesome.
so they're welcome. Anybody's welcome for mint too.
Well, that's wonderful.
Mhm.
Well, Bonnie, thank you so much
Oh,
for
you're
coming on,
welcome.
because today is not exactly the kind of day that we've been used to for the
Right.
past couple of weeks, but
But you take what you get.
exactly. That's
All
kind
right.
of
Well,
the
thanks for
Ohio
having
thing.
me.
Thanks so much, Bonnie.
Uh-huh.
All right, friends, I've got a few things I just want to talk about for the week. So I got my handy dandy list here. So today we got 2 things. So we have a movie in the Muirfield Room at 1. It's called Air. It is about Nike's invention of the Air Jordan. So come check that out if you're interested in basketball, and if you're just interested in about corporate history in general. Also at 3 o'clock we have the birthday celebration. All of you June birthdays, which we have quite a few of you. We're going to be celebrating in the Kinsale Room this afternoon. Tomorrow we have Town Hall, of course, and then in the afternoon we have a trip to Cedar Bogs Nature Preserve. Now that trip is full, and I do have a few people on the waiting list. So as we're seeing people decide that they can't go on the trip, I've been adding more people to it. So check Touchdown to see whether or not, if you were on the waiting list and if you made it, you should get a notification about that. That should be a lot of fun. and it is fairly accessible. On Wednesday, we have because it's Flag Day, we have Barb Bowmaster has provided a video for us. It's a musical concert by the Gaithers, and that's going to be in the Muirfield Room at 1. One of our art teachers, Jean Swimba, she's going to be back from California, and she's going to be doing a crafting class in Waterford Cafe between IL and AL. And then that evening, we'll be doing a summer concert series at the Legacy Patio. It is the Little Big Band. On Thursday, we have a walking club trip to Enos Woods, and I always say the Metro Park wrong. But those of you who have signed up, the registration is closed at this point. So those of you who have signed up, if I didn't get your box lunch options, I will be contacting you today for that. But that's going to be going on. And then that afternoon, Fred is going to be doing Religion in the News in the Muirfield Room. It's been a very engaging sessions the couple times he's done it. So come join us for that. On Friday, we have a Foodie Fridays to the Old Mohawk in German Village. And we had so many people sign up for it. We contacted the restaurant to see how many people they could accommodate. We are actually going to be able to take 2 buses now. So those of you who are on the wait list, check Touchtown to see if you had made it on to the list. We're able to accommodate 28 people now. So check that out. Let us know if you're able to make it or not. If you can't, we can take you off of Touchtown, or so on and so forth. And then Friday afternoon, because it's going to be Father's Day weekend, men of FED, you are all invited to come to the outdoor rec area. We're going to have a nice casual afternoon, some drinks, maybe some cigars, maybe some games. We're going to have a little Father's Day happy hour. So please join us for that. Should be a lot of fun, and we should have better weather than today. But thank you all for taking a little trip to the North Garden, and I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.